Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the newest edition of Dalescenter. Congratulations, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, you've made it to the greatest fucking weekend in racing. NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series on Friday night kicks us off at Charlotte Motor Speedway with a beautiful truck night in America. Xfinity Series on Saturday, Cup Series, Coke 600, and then in between you get Netflix and Yachts in Monaco. Not really a race. We know this. Formula One. It's not really a race. Netflix and Yachts. I'd love to see it. I mean, don't get me wrong. Bucket list event, Netflix and Yachts in Monaco. And then you get the Indianapolis 500, which is where I will be. Going to keep our fingers crossed on the weather. Regardless, Sunday, Monday, Indy 500, greatest sporting event on planet Earth. Easily the greatest motorsport event on planet Earth. It's just a stacked weekend. You're going to have fun watching on this Memorial Day holiday weekend, no matter where you're at. Enjoy the Coke 600, enjoy the Indy 500, enjoy all the beautiful racing we have. The triple header on Sunday is something else, and I'll be watching all of it this weekend from Speedway, Indiana, and I can't fucking wait. I'm recording this on early crack it on Thursday morning before I head out to Speedway, Indiana for the Indy 500 weekend. So let's get right into it. I gotta go. I gotta get the fuck out of here. So we're going through this. Oh, actually, hold on. We'll go back here. I skipped too fast. I got ahead of myself. We're going to talk truck bets. For Truck Night in America, the North Carolina Education 200 at Charlotte Motor Speedway. I'm just going to tell you guys exactly what I have. I have Taylor Gray outright, 14-1. Brett Moffitt outright, 14-1. Caden Honeycutt outright, 25-1. Caden Honeycutt is, I think, my favorite bet this weekend. I'd parlay his top three. I'd parlay his top five. If you want to get frisky, parlay that 25-1. It could be an explosive start to your weekend if you got a three-legger in for all the racing events between all the NASCAR races, Indy 500, Netflix and Yachts, whatever you got. Caden Honeycutt. Nice Motorsport in the last three starts at Charlotte Motor Speedway. They finished second with Hocevar in 2021. They won with Chastain in 2022. And they finished fourth with Hocevar in 2023. Even though he had the best truck, coulda, shoulda, woulda, he should have won that race. So you're looking at a potential first in the last three starts for Nice Equipment in 2020 or at Charlotte Motor Speedway. We saw what Caden Honeycutt did at Kansas. He had a top three truck. Maybe had a top two truck. Final pit stop, just kind of didn't have it compared to Corey Heim and a couple of the other guys. He finished fourth in Nice Equipment at Kansas. That is the ultimate telltale sign that we're going to see a fast race truck at a track that has been awesome for Nice the last 3 years, and a driver that is primed to find a way to get that first victory. I think Caden Honeycutt is extremely talented. I don't think there's anybody that even disagrees. Caden Honeycutt's fucking talented. I think he's going to have a full-time ride in 2025, and I think the true coming out party starts Friday night at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Caden Honeycutt is an awesome bet at 25-1. I would bet 20-1 as well, and I'd consider a top three. I already have got the 25-1 outright in. Top three is worth considering. Just depends on the price. I think we need, like DraftKings, at the time of me recording, does not have lines out yet. I want to see what their top three is, because right now I'm looking at Caesars 6-1, Bet Rivers 5-1, ESPN Bet, which I've already used. We'll have lines out for top three at some point, I imagine. Let's see what they got. But I will bet a 6-1 top three on Caden Honeycutt if I have to. And it will be before practice and qualifying. I'm not taking any chances. We're going to do it. Caden Honeycutt, one of the bets of the weekend in this greatest motorsports weekend in the universe. I love Caden Honeycutt. I think he is an awesome bet. Ben Rhodes, 40-1. I'd bet 35-1 too. That's what you're going to see probably leading into practice and qualifying. Ben Rhodes is the defending winner of this race, and you're going to tempt me with a good time? I mean, dude, come on. And what's crazy about this is that Ben Rhodes is in the exact same scenario as 2023. He started off not great in 2023, and then they had a crew chief swap. Right after the crew chief swap, he went to Charlotte and fucking won. And he had, it wasn't a fluke. He had a top three, top five truck the whole night. The whole night. And that's what's happened in 2024. 3 weeks ago, we've had another Ben Rhodes crew chief swap. And then he went to Darlington, ran top 3, went to North Wilkesboro, probably had a top 5, top 8 truck, but he had damage from just a generic North Wilkesboro traffic incident, and it kind of ruined his day, and he faded in a long green flag run. Give me a crew chief swap just like 2023, and you're going to give me the defending winner of this race 40-1 outright, 10-1 top 3. I'm all over it. No question about it. We have to do it. I've already bet 40-1 outright, and 10-1 top 3. It's locked in. And then we're going to look at the Tricon guys. I'm taking a stab on Dean Thompson. Came here to Charlotte in 2023. Had a great race. He finished 3rd. He's got to have some confidence coming back here. 18-1 top 3. I think 8-1 top 5. Both worth a look. Those are leans for me. I've already bet the outright. Very small, like a $10 play at 80-1. I think is worth it for Dean Thompson in a Tricon truck. We've seen what Tricon's been doing in 2024. Long run speed. We expect green flag runs. Their long run speed is great. And for that same reason, I'm betting on Taylor Gray and Brett Moffitt. Brett Moffitt is a mile-and-a-half juggernaut in the truck series. In his first start this year, he finished 5th at Kansas. Now that he's gotten all the rust off, he becomes even more scary. Brett Moffitt, 14-1, totally, absolutely worth a play. Taylor Gray is whatever you want. I mean, Taylor Gray's had a great start to the season. He's had a few bumps in the road ever since his hot first 5 races of the season. Taylor Gray's like my Brad Keselowski in the truck series. I'm just betting on him every week until he wins. I'm just waiting for the win. And it could happen. Taylor Gray's been pretty good at the mile-and-a-halfs. If he doesn't have issues, he'll run around the top 5, top 3. Maybe they give him a lightning truck better than his teammate Corey Heim, and he goes out there and competes for a win. So Taylor Gray, Brett Moffitt, Caden Honeycutt, Ben Rhodes, Dean Thompson, and then I've got a flyer on Jake Garcia as well. Jake Garcia is on the opposite side of the crew chief swap with Ben Rhodes, and I've already liked what I've seen. Darlington was running 3rd or 4th on a late race restart with 2 to go. He gets in an incident with Colby Howard and gets put in the wall, finishes 20th. North Wilkesboro leads a lot of laps, just on the wrong side of strategy and conservation with the tire deal. Faded late in that race, finished probably 18th or 20th after having a good run. He's getting good runs, not getting the finishes to show. Charlotte is a good track for young guys, and I think Jake Garcia, young guy, hasn't won. And this other side of the crew chief swap at ThorSport could be a good play. 50-1, 12-1 top 3 is a lean. But the only top 3 bet I've locked in has been Rhodes, 10-1. Caden Honeycutt, top 3 will happen. It will happen. Be in the Dalescenter NASCAR Discord, link below in my YouTube description, and you will not miss a bet with the Xfinity Series or the Truck Series, and you get notified anytime that I put out betting cards in the Cup Series, qualifying, anything. You don't miss anything if you're in the Discord and you want to tail the betting cards to their specific unit allocations. That's what I got for trucks. Leading in, I got fucking 5 outrights, 6 outrights before practice and qualifying. Could get dangerous. Taylor Gray, Brett Moffitt, Caden Honeycutt, Ben Rhodes, Jake Garcia, Dean Thompson. And then I got Ben Rhodes top 3, and I will bet Caden Honeycutt top 3, 2 leans, Jake Garcia top 3, and Dean Thompson top 3, maybe top 5 on those as well. Let's see what DraftKings opens up with. Let's see what ESPN Bet opens with on top 3, top 5, and then we'll make a decision there. Moving on to Cup qualifying. This is interesting to me, and I'm going to refresh one more time, but at the time that I'm recording this, I have not seen a qualifying bet on any market. Now, I hadn't checked like a Bet365. They could have qualifying. Keep an eye there. Maybe Bovada, something I don't use, could have qualifying up as well. I haven't seen a poll bet. Nonetheless, I got 5 guys to win the poll. I love betting on qualifying. We've been kind of wishy-washy. We are in the green so far in 2024 on Cup qualifying. I got 5 drivers to win the poll. I'm not going to elaborate on this much. Most of these guys, all these guys have been good at the mile and a halves in qualifying. They oftentimes make the second round. They oftentimes win the fucking pole. And then you got a guy that's knocking on the door of winning a pole at a track that is very friendly for first timers. So 5 drivers. Christopher Bell, intermediate pole juggernaut. Look at the stat sheet. I don't have to say shit. William Byron to win the pole. Look at the stat sheet. He's always making the top 10 unless he hits the wall like he did at Kansas. Typically, he's making the top 10 in second round of qualifying, putting himself in the argument, putting himself in the equation. William Byron, I think is a good bet to win the pole. You'll probably get him around 8-1, 7-1 range. Kyle Busch. I know he got punched in the face. I'm Team Ricky. But this would be a total fucking Kyle Busch move to, after getting punched in the face, come out to qualifying and win the pole. RCR runs well here. This is Austin Dillon's arguably one of his best intermediate racetracks. And RCR comes out here with that 8 car, Kyle Busch, and qualifies well. And they run well in general. So I think you'll get a Kyle Busch pole ticket at 16-1 range. I'm fine with that. Ty Gibbs is my guy that's just knocking on the door. I think you'll get a pole bet at 10-1, 12-1 range. Another kid who's just got speed. He makes the top 10 second round all the time and is knocking on the door of that first win and that first pole. Watch out for Ty Gibbs. Austin Cindric's going to be a 50-1 guy, has had glimpses of random mile-and-a-half speed in qualifying, dating back to 2023, really, has had good qualifying. 2022, really, when you look at mile-and-a-halves, every other mile-and-a-half, it seems like he comes out and has a good qualifying performance. He'll be 40 or 50-1 to win the pole, so he's worth a shot. So 5 guys. I have not seen odds yet, but I feel good about where you'll get these guys at and how you allocate your units. If you want to allocate your units just like mine, look at the Discord link in the YouTube description. Getting that fog off. As I said, we're recording early in the morning on Thursday, crack of dawn before we leave for Indy. But 5 drivers: Christopher Bell, William Byron, Kyle Busch, Ty Gibbs, Austin Cindric. 5 drivers to win the pole for Cup qualifying on Saturday. That's who I'm betting. So let's move on. Xfinity Series, guys. This is going to be fun. May not be the most fun to bet because you have a lot of Cup guys, which is my least favorite thing when it comes to betting situations in NASCAR racing in the lower tier series. You got Chase Elliott, you got Kyle Busch, you got Ty Gibbs, you got Noah Gragson. All sorts of fucking Cup guys. Gonna make it a lot more fun when it comes to the quality of the race itself. But for betting, it kind of sucks. Utilize a Kyle Busch top 3 or a top 5 in your parlays. That would be my first tip of advice. Second tip, and most important, hammer Austin Hill over Noah Gragson in a head-to-head matchup. You can find this matchup on ESPN Bet. You can find it on DraftKings. I got -125. I'm looking at -130, -135. I would bet this up to -150. This has nothing to do with talent, guys. This is a Lock of the Universe NASCAR bet. We're 8-4 on Lock of the Universe bets in 2024. We're going to be fucking 9-4 because Noah Gragson's team, the number 30 car that has an alliance with Stewart-Haas Racing, is a brand new Xfinity Series team. They are launching their operation in this series this weekend against the Xfinity Series point leader in Austin Hill. Do I even need to say anymore? Like, this isn't about talent. This is about a new team that's going to experience bumps in the road as they have launched a brand new operation in the Xfinity Series. Head to head against the fucking point leader. I'm going to take my chances that Austin Hill is going to finish better than Noah Gragson because new team gremlins, man, they could come out here and fucking blow up. What if qualifying gets rained out? What if practice gets rained out? That team's going to be in trouble, right? Actually, they may not even make the race. Some books may call that action. I don't know. Regardless, practice qualifying, if it happens, if it doesn't, you got to bet Austin Hill here. Got to. I will 2.5 unit bet. I was going to say, put the fucking retirement fund on it. And when I say that, I actually mean bet responsibly, but that's where my units are here. It's my biggest bet of the weekend. One of my favorite bets of the weekend. I can't believe the books are offering it at the price they were offering it. They're looking at the name Noah Gragson and saying, oh shit, he won 13 races full time in the Xfinity Series. Yeah, he did. Driving for one of the greatest teams in the history of the series in junior motorsports. You're exactly right. He's not driving for that team anymore. This is a new Ford team That is brand new. They're running 4 races this year. They're going to have problems with getting off the ground. Bet Austin Hill, lock of the universe. Awesome bet. Honestly, that could be my full card. But I will say, Sheldon Creed 35-1 sticks out. Never know if some of these Cup guys have problems. And then AJ Allmendinger 35-1 speaks to me. I know Colleague has been Colleague, not great in 2024. But this is AJ Allmendinger. This is like the dude that's been one of the top guys in this series and has found a way on similar ovals in the past. AJ Allmendinger 35-1 could be a good bet. I wonder what that top 3 is. On Bet Rivers, that top 3 for AJ is 9-1. Dude, I love that play. I think we're going to add that to our card. I'm going to have to bet that. AJ Allmendinger, I love his price. I absolutely love it. I think there's a good chance he runs up in the top 5. Watch out for AJ Allmendinger. I think that's a good price. I don't think every Cup guy is going to run 1st through 4th. I just don't think it's going to happen. So AJ Allmendinger could be a good flyer play. I'd include Kyle Busch in your parlays. And then you take Austin Hill head-to-head over Noah Gragson. And we have a good start to our NASCAR Xfinity Series betting card. Anything else, we're going to wait till after practice and qualifying. Now let's get right into Indy 500 betting activity. I know who I like. I know what I like. And I'll get into it right after we hear from INDYCAR betting expert. I got us won like $80 billion on Kyle Kirkwood. Pretty fucking crazy. RotoDoc with our good friends on the Action Network. Once again, link below, a lot of links below, but Action Network link, it will specify in my YouTube description. That is where you'll see all of my Cup race bets is on their platform. It's an awesome app. Download it. It makes it so easy to track your bets. It makes it easy to track experts, and you get all the advice. They got all sorts of shit over on the Action Network app, and RotoDoc is a big staple over there. Good friend of the program here on Dalescenter, good friend of ours via the Action Network. Let's hear from RotoDoc on what he likes betting-wise for the 108th edition of the Indianapolis 500. Take it away, Mr. RotoDoc.
Thanks, Dale, and welcome everyone. I am Nick Giffen of the Action Network, and I am here to give you my favorite bets for the 108th running of the Indianapolis 500. The greatest spectacle in racing. We could give all the cliches, but let's get right into it with some bets. Now, Team Penske, of course, we all know they swept the front row in qualifying, starting 1, 2, 3. They're the race favorites. They rightly should be the race favorites, but I think they're overvalued in the market. If we look in the DW12 chassis era, the number of pole sitters that have won the Indy 500 is just 1, and the number of front row starters that have won the Indy 500 is just 3 out of 12 races. That's just 25%. And even if you think Penske is better than the average front row starters, it's hard for me to get Penske as the winning team at plus 130, plus 140, which is, an implied odds above 40%. So instead, I do still like betting Penske, but I'm going to bet them in a different way. And I'm going to take Scott McLaughlin, Scotty Mac, to win the INDYCAR championship at 12-1 at Bet ESPN. Also, Will Power at plus 950 at ESPN Bet. I said Bet ESPN. ESPN Bet. You know what I mean. Whatever. But those guys, 12-1 and 9.5-1 to win the title is crazy, especially considering Alex Palou, who is the heavy favorite right now in betting markets to win the championship, isn't that great at ovals when you compare him to a Scott McLaughlin or a Will Power. If we just look at the shorter, flatter ovals of Gateway and Iowa, Alex Palou has been fine, but he hasn't been amazing, right? Alex Palou has finishes of 20th, 9th, and 7th at Gateway. That's not amazing. And at Iowa, he has finishes of 6, 13, 8, and 3. That's fine, but not amazing. And when we look at Scott McLaughlin at those tracks, Gateway, 2, 3, and 4 are his finishes. Sorry, 3, 4, and 5 are his finishes. And then if we look at Iowa, his finishes are 2, 3, 5, and then a 22nd. But you get the idea. Scott McLaughlin has finished in the top 5 in every single shorter, flatter oval, other than one time in his IndyCar career. And Alex Palou has finished inside the top 5 just once. So drastic difference. And this year, IndyCar, with its new schedule, has backloaded a bunch of ovals. There's 2 Iowa races on the oval there. There's 2 Milwaukee short flat ovals at the Milwaukee Mile. There's Gateway still. And Nashville this year, instead of being on the streets, it is now on the 1 1/3 mile concrete oval. So that probably should favor McLaughlin, Will Power as well. Plus, we have the Indy 500 here, where Penske, of course, is the favorite. So I think this is the time to buy in on Scott McLaughlin, 12-1, and Will Power, 9.5-1 to win the championship, while Alex Palou is overvalued in the market and overvalued for the Indy 500. He does not like his car. He was making wholesale changes to his car. They took his car back to the garage with 14 minutes left in practice on Monday after a full week's worth of practices. So I'm going to go Scott McLaughlin and Will Power, not to win the Indy 500, but to win the championship. And hey, they don't have to win the Indy 500 to make this still a good bet, but that certainly would help. Now, let's get to some outrights here for the Indy 500 itself. And I'm going to be a homer, and I'm going to take my Andretti boys, Colton Herta at 15-1 and Kyle Kirkwood at 25-1 to win the Indy 500. That said, as much as I'm a homer on these guys, I very much believe these are true values. Both Colton and Kyle last year had great cars, and honestly, Kyle Kirkwood was maybe on his way to winning the race last year. Honda tends to make better fuel mileage than Chevy, and Kyle used that to his advantage last year in the race on those last 2 stints, passing cars left and right until, totally out of his control, Felix Rosenqvist spun in front of him. Kyle had nowhere to go, ended up on his lid. Colton said last year was the best car he's ever had at the Indy 500, and while that 9th place finish, it doesn't look great, I think it was a little unflattering. I think he had a better car than that. And this year, Colton says his car is just as good, if not better, than last year. If you watched all the practice sessions, Colton Herta looked like he could just pass at will. Obviously the Hondas didn't have the speed of the Chevys in qualifying, but race trim is so much different. Colton looks amazing in race trim. He also, again, is in that Honda that could potentially save more fuel, should make better fuel mileage, which will allow him to run full rich, not worry about fuel later in the race, and potentially pass those Chevys at the end of the race. So Colton Herta, Kyle Kirkwood, I think both of them are kind of in the same boat here. Very similar cars, very similar field to last year where they both were strong. And I just think both of them are going to have very solid race cars. And if you think about it, there's 33 cars in the field. That means the average driver should be, 32-1 to win the race. Both of these guys are much better than the average driver in equipment that's much better than average. And based off what we've seen, everything in practice, I think both of these guys have a chance, solid chance to win the race. So while Penske rightly should be favored, their overvaluing leads to some undervaluing in, I think, this Andretti duo of Kyle Kirkwood and Colton Herta. So Colton Herta 15-1 at DraftKings, Kyle Kirkwood 25-1 at DraftKings. I think he's 25-1 at multiple books. Are 2 really nice winning bets for the Indy 500. Now let's go to a couple prop bets here. Staying on that Colton Herta train, Bet365 has posted head-to-head matchups, and they have Alex Palou versus Colton Herta, both at -115 odds. And I have to take the Colton Herta side here. They qualified near each other, Palou and Herta did, but their oval histories are relatively similar. But Colton Herta loves his race car, while Palou was making changes with 14 minutes left in the practice session. To me, that is what everything is all about here in this head-to-head matchup. So I'm definitely going to back Colton Herta -115 over Alex Palou in this head-to-head matchup at Bet365. And finally, one other prop bet I really like. If you go over to Caesars, now I gave out over 4.5 cautions. It's now 5.5 on a different show, my podcast, over 5.5 cautions. If you have that available to you, I still like that at Caesars, but a lot of states aren't offering that. But they still are offering the average speed of the race over or under 172.5 miles per hour. And if you think about it, over cautions correlates with under on the average speed of the race. So I like under 172.5 miles per hour, minus 115 at Caesars. We look at the DW12 chassis, which started in 2012. That's why it's called the DW12, because Dan Weldon, DW, tested it in 2011 to have it ready for 2012. There have been 12 races in the Indy 500 with this car, and the average speed of the race in those 12 races is 171.5 miles an hour, which is under that 172.5. But I think there's added reasons to like under 172.5. There's rain in the forecast. If we get a rain caution, that's an extra potentially unplanned caution. And there haven't been rain cautions in the DW12 era. The last real rain event race was 2007. So I think we're getting some extra value with this rain in the forecast, and a little extra hidden value in the fact that there's 6 rookies in this field. And in the DW12 era, the median number of rookies has been 4.5 with an average of 4.8. So with 6 rookies in the field, we're at a little bit higher chance of a rookie mistake. Plus, we still have those extra one-offs. We have Elio Castroneves, Ryan Hunter-Ray, Catherine Legg, a bunch of one-offs here. Connor Daly that just have a little extra potential, I think, to make a mistake. Now, a lot of these are veterans, but we did see Catherine Legg make a mistake on pit road last year. So I just think there's some opportunity here. Ed Carpenter, I didn't even mention him. A lot of these guys are amazing veterans and should be relatively cautious and not make mistakes, but the rookies, I think, are a little extra mistake prone. So just some extra chance here, I think, for a mistake on the rookies. Plus, overall, like I said, the average speed of the race in the DW12 era is 171.5 miles an hour. So I think that's a nice prop bet you could make over at Caesars Sportsbook. But I think it's going to be a great race. Some drivers to keep an eye on should be Pato O'Ward, right? He's always great at this oval. He's crashed in the last 2 years, but it was while racing for top 3 or so, positions here. So Pato O'Ward, definitely somebody, if he drifts into the double digits, you want to keep an eye on for a race win. Alexander Rossi looks like he has a really strong car this year. And of course, the Team Penske guys, but like I said, I think the best way to play them, not Joseph Newgarden, but Scott McLaughlin and Will Power, is for the championship. So those are my thoughts on the Indy 500. I mentioned Kyle Kirkwood, Colton Herta. You can play them in top 10 markets, top 5 markets, top Honda markets. So certainly multiple ways to play this Indy 500 with those drivers that I like. But enjoy the best racing day in the world for the whole year. The triple header Monaco, Indy, Coca-Cola 600. Dale, I know you're all over these, and I'll throw it back to you.
There you have it. Good shit from my guy RotoDoc. To cap off Indy 500, and I'm glad he went a while because we got to take time talking about the Indy 500. I'll tell you guys what I like betting wise for the 108th running of the Indianapolis 500. Woo! Can't wait to fucking be there, dude. Cannot fucking wait. Energy is really, really high. Yeah, we're keeping our fingers crossed when it comes to the rain, but I like Will Power. I really like Will Power. Felt like felt like his car was really good in traffic, and when you look at these Penske guys, I think you're in a position where you need to bet at least one of them. And I do love Scotty Mack. Scotty Mack, friend of the program, obviously would love to see him in the Thirsty Threes go to victory lane. I just don't like 4-1. I don't like 4-1. And Joseph Newgarden, kind of around that range of Will Power. Really tough to go back-to-back in this race. Will Power, the 2018 winner. I like Will Power here. I think he's pretty due to get back into victory lane and pretty due to get it done in a track like this, at a place like this. Legend of the sport. Give me Will Power. Plus 650, plus 750, I think is worth it. And then Alexander Rossi, man. This dude is so good at Indy. He's got a great race car. I like the anger that he had, that he showed in qualifying towards the Penske guys. Like, he's got that chip on his shoulder. And when Alexander Rossi doesn't have incidents in the Indianapolis 500, he had 2 races where he had problems, crashed, had some kind of issue, fueling issue, pit road issue that costed him one of those years. 2 races where he finished 27th and 29th due to problems, not due to performance, due to problems. When Alexander Rossi has been allowed to perform for an entire race, 1st, 7th, 5th, 5th, 2nd, I believe, are his 5 finishes without issues. 1st, 7th, 4th, 2nd, 5th, 5th. That's fucking rock solid, man. Come on. That is rock solid. Alexander Rossi is so good here. He is so good here. It's crazy to think about that his one win came on a fuel mileage race in 2016, the 100th running. Can't believe that was 8 years ago, but that's the truth. His only win in the Indy 500 was not by performance. He was a rookie, and it was by fuel mileage. Now he's good by performance just about every year. I think he's got one of the top 5 best race cars on the field. He's ballsy. He's aggressive. Alexander Rossi, Aaron McLaren. We're all talking about Kyle Larson. And look, I love Kyle Larson. I hope he goes out there and fucking wins. That would be badass. It would put him in a new level of elite conversation on the greatest motorsports driver on planet Earth. And it wouldn't even be a debate, respectfully, to Max Verstappen, other Netflix racers and anybody else. It wouldn't be a debate. But we're not talking enough about Alexander Rossi. He is so fucking good here. Take plus money top 5. That is my favorite bet of the weekend. I did it last year with Rossi. He finished 5th. We're doing it again. Alexander Rossi top 5 is an awesome, awesome motherfucking bet. When it comes to adding a bet to parlays, I like a willpower top 3 or willpower top 5. Rossi top 3, Rossi top 5. Adding to your parlay, because we know we're going to have degenerate parlays. It's fine. Caesars has the best line on a Alexander Rossi top 5 from what I've seen at plus 140. Anything plus money is acceptable here, guys. Alexander Rossi is going to be good. He's going to be a factor. Take that. Take the 12-1 outright for Alexander Rossi. Love that. Love 12-1 outright. And that's the good thing about, if Penske doesn't win, you're in a good spot on betting on someone else. Now, I still recommend betting on at least one Penske guy, maybe 2, because they're really, really good. Really, really good. I lean willpower in that direction. Plus money top 3 is up for grabs. We're talking about it. We're thinking about it. At least going to have it in a parlay. But Alexander Rossi being 12-1 just feels criminal with how good he is at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Give me that all day. Give me the outright. Give me the top 5. And then for Penske, we'll look at willpower. And then listen to everything RotoDoc just told you. Good friend from the Action Network. Doing a hell of a job, as always. Mr. RotoDoc with the Action Network. All right, let's move on. And by the way, full cards will be out. We will have full cards. But you got to be in the Discord. Follow me on Twitter. Follow me on Instagram. Discord is the best way to not miss it. But I advise following me on Twitter as well to make sure you've got everything covered on where you would see every single full betting card for any motorsports event this weekend. Okay, cup bets. I've got 4 cup bets for the race, for the Coca-Cola 600, which some people would say is what their favorite race of the weekend is. It's my second favorite. Nonetheless, I love NASCAR. It is my favorite. I'm a NASCAR guy first. Nothing beats the Indy 500, but I do enjoy the Coca-Cola 600 after the checkered flag waves in Indy. It's just a great fucking day of racing, dude. It's just a great day. I get horned up thinking about it, Get horned up thinking about it, about how good of a day Sunday is every single year. Memorial Day weekend. Maybe wants to bring a tear to the eye just a little bit. Just a little bit. Anyway, I got 4 bets for the Coca-Cola 600. I took all 3 Spire guys for a top 10. I don't know what these prices are now. I took Zane Smith for a top 10. He got a top 10 here last year, driving for Front Row. Different team, totally different circumstance. I think Zane's definitely lost some confidence with how bad his rookie year's gone. But good track for him overall when you consider the Truck Series. Typically, what he's been better at is 1.5 miles. And we've seen a lot of chaos in this race. So it is a race that is friendly to young guys. So for that reason, I like Zane Smith, 16-1 top 10. Think you'll still be able to get that before green flag. 14-1 top 10, I think, is the lowest I'd go on Zane. Host of our top 10, 12-1, 10-1. If I can get 10-1, I'm happy. I got 12-1. We'll live with that. Corey LaJoie top 10. If I can get 12-1, 14-1, I can deal with that. Now, these prices, I got all via FanDuel. Always check FanDuel when top 10s come out. They always give us something better on top 10 bets when they drop typically on Tuesday nights, early Wednesday morning, Got to keep an eye on FanDuel. So I took all 3 Spire guys for a top 10. I'd like to get all 3 of them. If you're wanting to bet them now, make sure you can get all 3 of them at least at 10-1 or better. 10-1 or better is my limit when we talk about all 3 Spire guys, stacking them for a top 10. And then I took Ty Gibbs outright, 18-1 via ESPN Bet. I'd bet down to 16-1. This track is just so friendly to first-time winners, and there's nobody knocking on the door like Ty Gibbs. You could make the argument his mile-and-a-half speed has not been as good as a Hamlin, maybe a Truex, Larson. I would normally say Byron, but he's kind of struggled. Tyler Reddick's been really good. Tyler Reddick, I've been leaning towards betting 8-1. I'm really leaning towards it. He was really good last year here. Has been great on the mile-and-a-halfs in 2023, with the exception of Kansas. Not sure what happened with 23-11. They just completely missed it at Kansas. That was weird. But overall, full body of work. That 45 team has been really good at this type of track. Tyler Reddick's been really good. Been leaning towards betting on him before qualifying. 8-1, I think, is not bad for a guy that's been a mile-and-a-half juggernaut with that team since 2023. So leaning Tyler Reddick, but 4 bets I have locked in. Ty Gibbs 18-1, and then LaJoy, Zane Smith, and Carson Osevar each for a top 10. And that's really all I got. So let's make a parlay real quick. As we've been talking about, like, typically I do my parlays on DraftKings. I don't know what I'll be able to use in Indiana for like a Bally or a Bet Rivers that will let me parlay. We'll find out. Can be, basically, is what I'm saying. So I made a parlay via Caesars. Now, this is not a parlay I'm going to enter on Caesars because Caesars is awful and I don't like it. I will enter it on DraftKings whenever I'm in Indiana, and DraftKings will release truck odds. And of course, I had it made and Caesars deleted it. This app is just... it's just such a piece of shit. Okay, let's start with trucks. We're going to make a 4-leg, I call it the Tanhart Triple Crown. Fuck the Triple Crown. We're going 4 legs right here to close off this Dalescenter program. First leg of the Tanhart Triple Crown. We're still going to call it that, by the way. It's the Triple Crown, but it's like a mutant, fucked up Triple Crown child thing with 4 legs. That's what we're going to call it. We're going to go top 5 for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. Brett Moffitt all day, baby. Give me a Brett Moffitt top 5 plus 175. Maybe you can sneak a 2-1 on other sports books when everything loads up. So we're going to go Brett Moffitt top 5 as our first leg of the Tanhart Triple Crown. And by the way, this won't be the only parlay. Like, there's going to be another quarter of a unit dispersed on outright parlays, just because, like, dude, like, one of my buddies sent me a parlay yesterday of, it's like $5 to win $190,000. Yeah, that's what we want. We want some dumb shit like that. Xfinity. We're going to go with a Kyle Busch. Actually, let's go with the Ty Gibbs top 5, minus 180. The Kyle Busch top 5, minus 250, we don't like. I would lean the top 3, but Caesars has like minus 150. I don't love that. So we're going to do Ty Gibbs top 5 in the number 20 Joe Gibbs Racing Toyota. And then let's go Indy 500. I told you guys what I liked already. Indy 500, we are going to go, if this would like to fucking load, please, God, Caesars. You're such a nutsack. You're so bad. Okay. INDYCAR. Which, by the way, you can bet top 10s on Caesar. That's kind of cool. But nonetheless, we are going to go top 5 Willpower. Oh, man, plus 105. That is, wow. Okay. Willpower top 5 plus 105. And then in the NASCAR Cup Series, Coca-Cola 600. See, I would like to do a Ty Gibbs top 5 here. But I don't love, or you won't be able to do both. That's kind of why I was thinking Kyle Busch top 3 earlier, because you won't be able to do Ty Gibbs on both Xfinity and Cup. Or will you? Caesars actually will let you. Holy shit. Caesars will let me do a Ty Gibbs top 5 in each. Will every other book let us do that, though? I don't know. 27-1 on that parlay. Wow, that is interesting. You know, I'm really high on Ty Gibbs. We could go top 3 there, too. That's tough. Okay, I'm going to go top 5 Ty Gibbs. If it will let us, this is my Tanhart Triple Crown. Brett Moffitt top 5 in trucks, Ty Gibbs top 5 in Xfinity, Will Power top 5 in INDYCAR for the Indy 500, and then a Ty Gibbs top 5 in Cup. Alternate parlay. Instead of a Ty Gibbs top 5 in Xfinity, let's go with a Kyle Busch top 3 in Xfinity to pair with a Ty Gibbs top 5 in Cup. So that's your Tanhart Triple Crown. Both of those will be right around 27-1. Kyle Busch might be... Actually, I think a Kyle Busch top 3 would make it better because I'm looking at minus 180 for a Ty Gibbs top 5, while a Kyle Busch top 3 in the Xfinity race would put it at, I believe, around 28-1 instead of 27-1. Yep, there you go. 28-1. So there you go. We'll go with that one as the Tanhart Triple Crown. A Brett Moffitt top 5 in trucks, Kyle Busch top 3 in Xfinity, Ty Gibbs top 5 in Cup, and a Will Power top 5 at Indy is your Tanhart Triple Crown parlay. I'm about ready to get the fuck out of here. I tell you what, I love the heart of America. I mean, there's no disputing. Mississippi is the great state, the undisputed fucking heart of America in the United States. No question about it. But we're fucking geared up for the Indianapolis 500, ladies and gentlemen. Be sure to follow at Dale Tanhart everywhere you could think of. Join the Discord in the YouTube description below. Hit one of the links to check out all my NASCAR Cup Series bets for the races on the Action Network app. Join our fantasy league, GridRival. We've got almost 800 members, $1,000 to the winner at the end of the year. Season-long fantasy, really fun league. I think we're going to do more with that too. So it'd be a good idea to join the league because we might have something later with GridRival before the playoffs. So keep an eye there too. And then Instagram, Dale Talk, all the stupid, degenerate, only Dale's type of content that you love and will love if you check it out. Follow over there as well. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Dalescenter NASCAR Betting Preview. I know we kept it pretty short, 43 minutes. Thank you to RotoDoc for hopping on, giving us a good insight, loaded segment for the Indianapolis 500. Good luck to Kyle Larson. We're rooting for him. Make NASCAR look good. Set the fucking world on fire. And then that's what we need my bets to do as well. Be sure you're in the Discord so you do not miss the full betting cards because we're going to be locked and loaded before the green flag of each race this weekend. Enjoy the greatest weekend in motorsports. I'm Dale Tanhart, and thank you for watching here on Dalescenter. Please like, share, subscribe if it helped you win money, if you like what you saw here on this program, and I'll catch you guys next week. Enjoy the race weekend and happy Memorial Day weekend. Have a good one, guys.